And welcome to another show, Powering the Future of Enterprise Technology. That's what we're on about with this episode. And we're going to learn how edge computing can help your organization innovate faster to give your customers a better user experience. Dave Cooper is an expert in enterprise technology. He's the Senior VP of Edge Compute at Lumen Technologies. He's just the man to tell us how. Welcome, Dave. Nice to have you.
Thanks, Mark. Glad to be here.
Well, in today's fast-paced business environment, 2 or 3 seconds of delay or latency within a network, it can seem like an eternity, and businesses thrive on their ability to differentiate themselves in the marketplace. And over the past 2 decades, businesses have turned to cloud services to boost their performance. But even with all the cloud offers, the bulk of data processing still happens in a traditional centralized data center until now. So, Dave, if you would, tell us about edge computing.
Absolutely. Well, edge computing is about delivering that power of compute and data closer to where digital interactions occur. And digital interactions include, how you interact with your favorite game, how robotics are controlled to build your new car, all the way to contactless retail store experiences that are facilitated using edge computing. Compute power has been that key enabler of innovation, especially over the last decade with the public cloud. And edge computing is bringing that power even closer to the people and devices.
So when we say closer, we're talking about closer to data sources, right?
Absolutely. Where all that data is generated and where we collect it is where we're bringing that physically closer than what the public cloud offers today.
I was reading where senior IT decision makers, Dave, 56% of them say that in 5 years, their most mission-critical application will require, 5 milliseconds or less. I mean, that seems astronomical.
It does. But when you take into account some of the newer technologies that have been arriving, that enterprises are looking to leverage, things such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT data sensors, and what have you. Driving compute and storage closer to where those devices are, those interactions are occurring, is a good thing. And I think looking back at where we're coming from with the public cloud or centralized data centers, 5 milliseconds is a great place to be for the enterprise. It opens up a lot of opportunities for technology innovation, and we believe it resonates with IT decision makers.
Well, a couple of other stats from these senior IT decision makers show that 75% say that edge compute will have a positive impact on spurring innovation, which is good, and 77% say their organization's latency challenges can only be solved, in fact, by edge computing. So, I mean, it is the future, whichever way you look at it, isn't it?
It is. And again, going back to the old saying, physics matters. It matters a lot. And that latency, the applications that many of these enterprises are transforming their businesses in order to gain competitive advantages. The performance, the latency, the response times needed to make these applications perform at their peak, that's only provided by the edge at edge computing. And I think, looking forward as enterprises continue to innovate, to leverage technology, having that edge computing venue available to them will continue to accelerate their innovation.
Well, I'm speaking with Dave Cooper. He's the expert, in fact, the genius with enterprise technology. He's the Senior Vice President of Edge Compute at Lumen Technologies. So for the layman, right? Just for the buffheads like me, mate, edge computing, how does it really benefit businesses? But not just the businesses, us, the consumers.
It's a great question, Mark. I think when you think about what enterprises are focused on, it's generally the customer. The customer's coming first. The experiences that the consumer provides is provided by the enterprise. And a lot of the innovation, the technology being used is how to create new experiences for the consumer. And so as these enterprises continue to implement these use cases that in some cases are just being thought of over the last year or two, and then pushing them out into their retail stores, into their facilities, into their operations, it benefits us as the consumer because we're able to take advantage of that. I mean, if you think about the retail industry and some of the technology involved there, You can see contactless checkout, various other different types of experiences, the digital marketing interactive experience that you're starting to get when you walk into a retail establishment. All of these are accelerated through the use of edge computing, and so directly or indirectly impact our daily lives.
Well, let me ask you this one, right? So make it as simple as you can for me. What is the difference between edge computing and cloud computing?
I look at them as being in the same ecosystem. Or, cloud computing is essentially what edge computing is. And edge computing is bringing about more capabilities that the public cloud, that centralized cloud, doesn't offer today in terms of latency, performance, and proximity. And so when you talk about edge computing, people often refer to it as being part of the cloud, but it's something much, much more meaningful than in the public cloud itself. It's driving that compute and storage closer to those people and devices. And so part of the cloud ecosystem, but another tool in the toolbox for the enterprise to be able to innovate on.
Well, Dave Kuberg, can you give us some examples, perhaps, of industries that are implementing edge technology and why?
Absolutely. So we talked a little bit about retail earlier. Retail being using very, very progressive in their use of technology to enhance the customer experience. Everything from fraud prevention, the day-old problem or the age-old problem of shoplifting and various other inventory management loss problems, using technology that's available at the edge to be able to mitigate that, to reduce the overall cost impacts of fraud and inventory loss. But you have industries like manufacturing who has a long tradition of using technology to improve the productivity, the yield, and the quality of their manufacturing lines. They're also using edge computing, and a lot of the technology that's enabled by edge, such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, and sensors. Building use cases such as predictive maintenance. Think about the ability to be able to proactively determine when a part will fail, especially in light of the supply chain challenges that we have today in the macro environment. So lots of opportunity in both manufacturing and retail, healthcare, financial, cryptocurrency, blockchain, a host of other great examples in an industry using edge computing.
Well, where's it been hiding? I mean, why has it taken so long to come to the fore?
That's a great question. I think it's evolved. The cloud environment, the cloud ecosystem has evolved with many of these software applications that are leveraging the power of data. The miniaturization of CPUs or chips to be able to allow sensors to communicate back and produce data and insights about operations going on. It's all followed the technological curves of hardware and software. And as we've gotten to a certain point, you see software able to take advantage of more distributed compute. And that's driving this thing we call edge computing.
Well, do you foresee edge computing replacing cloud computing altogether in the future?
No, I think it'll continue. It's a complement to the cloud compute or the cloud infrastructure overall, the public cloud infrastructure that exists. There's a lot of utility in continuing to support public cloud with batch processing of data, various other different types of applications that don't need that performance or that latency that edge computing provides. So I believe that they'll coexist, they'll complement each other, and enterprises will use them as they need to. Applications will be placed at the right venue versus just in one venue as we march forward.
Well, I'm starting to hear too, Dave, that AI is making its way just about into everything, isn't it? and with this industry,
No, absolutely. AI and the power of AI and being supported by the vast amounts of data, all of that is challenging to manage through, but enabled by edge.
Well, all this is fascinating stuff, and I gather your website can explain an awful lot. I mean, I've got www.lumen, lumen.com/edge. Is that the place to go?
Yes, sir.
All right, folks, you got that? www.lumen.com /edge, EDGE. Fascinating stuff. And our special guest was Dave Cooper. He was the expert in enterprise technology. He is the Senior Vice President of Edge Compute at Lumen Technologies. They're a leader in their field and just the man to tell us all about it. Fascinating stuff. Thank you, Dave. Have a good week.
Thank you, Mark.